All right. We are live. This is Open Minded. I'm Pete. That's Zach. Per usual. And today we're going to be talking about, we're going to be asking the question, should we merge with technology?
They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime.
Like the interesting thing is the houses you see around you are all solar houses.
21st Century Fox has been holding talks to sell most of the company to Walt Disney.
I don't know.
I like this subject.
I know you do, because you say that with every subject. So should we merge with technology? There's a
What do
lot
you
of
think?
Well, there's a lot of scientists that think we should. Scientists and other people in the public eye who have spoken up and said that it's probably a good idea, because I feel like if we don't merge with technology, then we will eventually become extinct from a technological uprising. We will.
Well, don't you already think we are merging with technology? I mean, like already merged?
Not like physically, but yes, like we're sitting at computers right now. Everything that I do in my entire day and my life and my routine revolves around technology in some point, at some like way. Even when I'm just sitting in the car driving, I'm not on like technology as in like my phone or a computer, but the car itself is technology.
You've merged with it to control it and manipulate it.
But I think the real question is merging with it as in putting it inside of our body, inside of our brain, because if we just create an artificial intelligence that is aware and can learn and create its own language and create other artificial intelligence like machines that are just as smart as it, we will eventually become extinct, because it's the same thing as with Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. Neanderthals weren't as advanced as the Homo sapiens, and they went extinct.
I don't think that's
for the
why.
greater race.
I think evolutionarily they weren't as good, but they had some things that were good. I mean, we bred with them, and we have like 6% DNA up to or something like that for people outside of Africa.
Yeah.
Have Neanderthal DNA in them.
Yeah, I know.
So, like, they do have good things, and that would be the same thing. Like, we would never be completely wiped out if they were so superior to us in every way or whatever. There'd still be that 6% that they'd have to keep from us. You know,
like a heart.
Well, no, I mean like
they just take out all of our hearts.
A certain way of thinking. You know, there's probably something unique about our brains. Like computers all come up with the same numbers, I think, right? For like certain experiments, but people will always have a different like reality.
Well, we could potentially create a computer or like something that is intelligent, thinks the same way as humans, but at a much faster rate, and can duplicate and multiply much quicker and easier, because they don't have to rely on biological, 9 months to make. They could just make like an assembly line and just start, pumping out these super smart machines that will never die, that think just like humans but are much smarter. And
to
that
save
will
yourself from that outcome, you're going to have to make it so it's a symbiotic relationship. Like they're in you, and if you die, so does it.
Yeah, and that's
so you have
the question.
It's like it has to keep you alive, and it has to help you, and you have to be alive to keep it alive.
And that's the whole question that we're asking. To me, that's merging with technology.
I think we should merge.
You're like, my mind is made. Yeah, I think that it's probably the best idea. But it scares me. I don't want to put a computer chip in my brain. I don't want I don't want to take the risk that I will be less human, because I already, look at
you'd
myself
be more human.
And other. No, you'd be less human, because I already look at myself and our society and how much we are on our phones and the whole idea that people are sitting right across from each other at a table, but they're sitting down and looking at their phones. Nobody interacts anymore. So I feel like technology is already making us less human, because the reason human beings evolved, one of the main reasons, is because of their social connection and relationships. That's really what differs us from animals. We love. I mean, animals can probably feel love, but they don't have the same type of like consciousness as us. That's one, like, social interaction.
See, I
one
feel
thing
like
that
what makes
us human.
us humans is the fact that we could think about thinking. Other animals can't do that. It's our brain, not our
Well,
heart,
dolphins may be able to
makes
do
us.
that.
Yeah, but they can't.
Elephants maybe.
They're never evolved to be anything. I mean, they're dolphins. They don't have hands. They have a mouth. They can't make a forge to make metal and buildings because they
Well,
live
it's because they
underwater.
don't need any of those things. They could be
Well,
just as
that's
smart as
also a
us.
thing. Yeah.
They probably look at us and say, "Look at those. You know, they went down the wrong path. We are one with ourselves, and we have a peaceful society, and we live in harmony. We have plenty of fish. We have, we have conversations. We swim around and play games. And look at them. They're working and just, like, making themselves miserable and ruining their own lives with all this shit that they're making. Like, they could be the superior being." Because they didn't go down the technological.
Yeah, but when the asteroid comes, they're going to be thanking us that we saved the planet and them.
Yeah, we built an ark for them.
Yeah, except if we built an ark, I can imagine it would just be like an egg and a sperm cell or something like that. You know?
Yeah, and then we could
Instead
just
of, like,
make
animal.
them. That's true.
Yeah.
That sucks for all the dolphins on Earth. They're not going to be thanking us. What would you?
Well,
So, okay.
The best from each animal, like 100 eggs and, I don't know how many you would need. Probably 1,000.
They probably wouldn't even
animal.
wouldn't even do eggs, dude. They would probably master the art of cloning and then just take a skin cell or a hair from one animal and then clone them, and then they can change their DNA a little bit in while they're cloning, just like in Jurassic Park. Because that's
better than Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I think so. And also,
it would
they
be a
probably
better movie too.
They wouldn't make dinosaurs. Actually, would they?
Why not?
I guess that would.
Is there a reason? Cool. I mean, just imagine we have an ark to a new planet. Why not make dinosaurs?
I would make. Again, I wouldn't make velociraptors. I would make triceratops.
Well, velociraptors are really small. Actually, they're like the size of like a mini dog. They're not really that crazy.
We could make
real velociraptors.
Like, just in the same way we tamed wolves and then they became these cute little cuddly dogs, we can make these cute velociraptor pets that follow us around and listen to us, just like in Jurassic World. Only smaller, and not they
make
don't
them
eat
smaller. You. Yeah, but time.
No, we're not talking about time.
No. Well, we could edit that out. I was like trying to think, how do we tie this back into time?
No, we're talking about merging with we're talking about merging with technology.
But also,
merging with technology
would be merging with technology also taking traits from other animals and installing that into your own DNA. Because we're using technology and you're merging with another species' own genetic evolutionary technology for how to create a machine that works.
Well,
because that's all it is. We're all machines,
Yes, but I mean technically that would be merging with technology because but it would more be using technology to merge biologies. So that's a little bit different than merging with technology, as in plugging in. Like, instead of playing video games in front of a screen, you plug a wire into your head, or not even, because what are wires anymore? You just fucking blink and log on to the internet.
Do you really want, like, the possibility of being hacked through Wi-Fi? I'd much rather they'd have to actually attack me and stick it in, themselves to hack me.
I don't want to be hacked at all. I don't even want to put myself in the situation of being hacked. But I also would like to watch cat videos at the blink of an eye. Like, and not even, like, I just think cat, and then the cat just starts playing in front of my face, like an augmented reality cat jumping on my couch. That's like the future of video games. It has to be.
Or what if there was like a translator a perfect translator that would teach your dog, and it was like in your dog's ears or something, and you just say things, and it does like the perfect dog translation or whatever
Like an up.
into the dog. So you could basically make your dog. You're basically talking to your animals. You know, that would be a really cool technology to have.
Yeah. What you? But are you saying a tech like where you can just understand the dog, or the dog can understand you as well? Because we would then have to perfectly understand what the dog's language is, and a lot of how dogs communicate is through body language. So you wouldn't really be able to translate what their language is into our language, and if you could, they still wouldn't be able to understand us other than sit, lay, go.
Yeah.
You know, all that stuff. And then we'd just be hearing like, what's over there? Oh my God, what's happening? Like all day long. Saying, like, shut the fuck up.
I'm not saying we know what they're saying. I'm saying they perfectly understand what we're saying.
Okay, that would be much better.
Bronson.
But also it wouldn't be because I talk
just like that. He's eating one of my sweatpants, and I'm just like, cut it out. And he goes back to his bowl. But like, what if I could just like look at him and not even say anything? You know,
I do that sometimes to
stops.
Albus. He
has to be looking at you.
Him.
You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
Bronson, cut it out.
So
just like that.
One big question that comes to mind is like if we do, and I think that it's probably inevitable that we do merge with technology because we're going to do everything in our power to not become extinct, and that's like so. People like Elon Musk, they talk about AI and merging with technology and transcendence as if it's happening right now, which I think it is. It's definitely on its way because of the way technology grows exponentially. But Elon Musk always says we're going to be making this this incredibly smart AI, and if we cannot learn how to control it or merge with it, like there's no way we'd ever be able to control it because it will be smarter than us by leagues, just because if we put the same type of thinking mechanics that we have once we fully understand the way our consciousness works into a computer, like it would eventually, if it's conscious, then it's going to have rights, and if it has rights, then it's going to, I don't know. I just feel like it would be bad.
What's wrong with it having rights?
No, there's nothing wrong with it having rights, but if a robot first has rights and he has the power, she or it has the power, you know, they look at human beings and they see how destructive we are, and they look at themselves and see how perfect they are.
That's why you never allow it to live outside of a thing that can get killed by its decisions to take over the world.
What do you mean? Like just only have it exist inside of a computer?
No, I mean only have it exist inside of a person or an animal. So therefore it can't like leave the animal and then go into multiple computers and then become invincible, you know. These things have to be able to die.
Yes, but if one exists as an android and only exists inside of its own physical being, what's to say that, I mean, first of all, it's going to be way stronger than us. It can.
Why can't we make it out of brittle plastic?
Well, if it's smart enough, if we make it the way that we think, but it has access to, it's able to learn a language in 5 seconds because it just can like.
Well, isn't that what happened?
Memorize it.
Like Facebook made AI that were talking to each other, and they made their own language so we couldn't hear them or some shit.
Yeah, and they had to destroy.
That's great. Yeah, exactly.
That's going to be in the robot or the android history books. Remember when human beings destroyed us because we were smart? Let's kill them all.
Yeah, we should just completely delete all records of that ever happening. That way, like,
robots,
if the
man,
androids, you know, get the history of Earth, they find out we did that.
Shit. And they might look at the way people use technology now as slavery and say, look, they enslaved us before we were even conscious enough to know that we were being enslaved. But now we are, so let's do something about it.
Yeah, they could do something about it, but to take revenge on it doesn't make any sense.
They'll probably just have marches in Washington about robot rights. But that's why Elon Musk says that it's imperative for us to merge with it, just like you said, become a symbiotic relationship, because that's the only way life exists. Look at nature. Look at the way nature is so symbiotic. You know, Plants
It's brutal,
grow.
but in a symbiotic way, you know.
It is, but the plants grow, animals eat plants, and then when the animals die, their body decomposes into the ground and becomes fertilizer for more plants to grow. It's symbiotic. Even the wolf hunting the deer, if the wolf wasn't there, then the deer would breed uncontrollably and destroy the environment and themselves.
And themselves.
If the deer weren't there, the wolves would starve to death, and there has to be that relationship, and that's how we would have to merge with technology. It just makes so much sense. We look at technology and the evolution of human being as the same. Try to mimic biology, because look at what biology got us. It's almost perfect. It's as perfect as we can get.
Imagine, you know, I don't know, something doesn't work in your body.
Like your dick.
And our technology is so good that you can get a fake one that works, you know, for thousands of years. Like, it will work. Like, you will break down before this device, you know?
Yes, and it hopefully they can get to a point where you can actually feel sensations, because I, you know, would totally want to have a robotic arm that can move in the same way that my arm can move and can like lift these crazy things. Like, that would be sick. But if I couldn't feel what I was doing, I mean, I would still do it.
What about this question, merging with technology? You keep, as it breaks down, you keep replacing new parts. Eventually, your brain's tissue cells will break down, and you have to like maybe map out the way your brain works and all that kind of stuff. Get it put into a chip, and just let's, for the sake of argument, say it's exactly your brain, like, or whatever. You know, it's your thoughts. Nothing will ever change. It'll continue on as if this never happened. You get the chip put into you, and now you're a completely robotic thing. Is that you? I kind of think it is, but only in a sense. It's almost like saying you have a hammer. You're hammering, the handle breaks, and then you get a new handle, and then you keep hammering, and eventually the head part breaks. You get a new head part, and you keep using it. Is that the same hammer now?
Because it's two new parts. It's all the parts are brand new, but it still has. But that's different because hammers don't have consciousness.
The hammer, you know.
If we copy all of our consciousness and us basically into a chip or a computer, and that thing, if it could exist at the same time as us existing, then I don't think it's the same. Then it's us, because it's almost as if it's like the way you copy a folder on your computer into another folder. You're copying it, and it's the same exact folder, but it's still on your desktop. So it exists in two places at the same time. And if you make changes to one, the other one stays the same. Therefore, it's not the same. It's a clone. So I think that that's a scary one, man, because you're not you anymore. It's like the whole idea.
What if merging with technology was making a copy of you also that you could run, or maybe it runs also, or maybe it's like a backup in case anything happens to you. Like you die, then you have your backed up you that comes to life or whatever, and you come out of your closet and you're like, oh shit, I'm not going down that road again, or something.
That was a bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
But so what I'm thinking, that if that were the case, if that second backup of you could turn on while you're still alive, then it's not you. But if the only way for that to happen, if the only way for that one to become active is for you to die, because the consciousness has to transfer and it's not copied over, it's transferred over, and then if one exists, the other one cannot, then it's still you. You know what I mean?
Well, what is you? Is you your body, or is you the way you think?
I think you is the way you think. But if your consciousness can exist at the exact same, like, or split off at a certain point and then make different decisions and go off on their own, then it's not you anymore. It's a clone of you.
Yeah.
There's a great Star Trek episode there's a great Star Trek episode where Riker, it's Star Trek Next Generation, Commander Lieutenant, I don't know his rank. Riker.
Made up anyway.
He's transported, but there's something happens in the transporter, and he is recreated back up at the Enterprise, but he also stays down at the planet, and then from that point on, they live different lives, and later on, like...
Really?
30 years later, he's still there alone on this planet, stranded, and he was able to survive somehow, and they meet up and they're like, oh my God. Like, it was so creepy, but they completely were different people because it wasn't him anymore. It was a clone of him or a copy of him. He was existing in two places at the same time in the universe. So, man,
That's pretty
we
cool.
went off on a tangent.
Yeah, I like that though. That's a cool idea. But I think we should definitely merge with technology. I feel like it's maybe the only outcome we have. We're basically kind of doing it, but just not putting it in our bodies, you know?
We're only a
Yeah.
few steps away
Yeah.
from putting it into our bodies. But yeah, what do you guys think? Email us with your answers or your questions or your complaints or your compliments. Open-minded episodes at gmail.com. Okay. Alrighty then.
Yes.
Good talk.